Question 42, NC Math 1 released items, calculator active. The table below shows the weights of 8 different bears at a zoo. If the weight of the polar bear is removed, which statement is true? Now here are all the bears. Look at your polar bear down here, which is right there. And you can see that that has the largest weight. So that may be considered an outlier in this problem. And generally with a high outlier, if you remove it, it does decrease the mean, sometimes the median, just depending on what we're looking at. So go ahead and try to see if you can figure out what taking that data point out does to the problems. And we're going to go over this in 3, 2, 1. So this is something that you probably should just throw into Desmos or whatever calculator can quickly get means and medians. I'm going to use Desmos as an example. So we're going to say mean and median. You literally just type out mean, uh, parentheses, and put all the numbers as a list separated by commas. You don't have to worry about organizing them in order from smallest to largest. Same thing you'll do with the median. Spell out the word median, put this in a list here, and you can copy and paste that if you type them both in. There is a way to do it together, but honestly, just do it like this. It's not that hard. So then you can get your mean and median with those numbers. We'll go ahead and write those down. And you could get the mean and median without using your stats options in Desmos if you just think medians add up all the numbers and divide by how many there are. So in this case, you'd add up all 8 of these numbers and divide by 8. And then the median is order them from smallest to largest and get the very middle number. And then if they are an even number, you average the two middle numbers. Although I wouldn't recommend doing that because you can just get the mean and median using the calculator. So now we want to know what happens if we remove this. So if we were to take out this polar bear 1000, get it out of there, what would be the new mean and the new median? So now that we know we're going to take that out, we're going to remove the 1000 from both sets, and we'll have our new mean as 279.285 and our new median as 280. So we'll write both of those down. Now, as you can see, both of those numbers went down, but the mean went down a lot further than the median. The median only decreased by 10 units, whereas the mean decreased by, looks like about 90 units. So let's see if we can come up with an answer from that. The mean decreases more than the median because the polar bear is a high outlier. An outlier is a number that's really far above or below the typical set of data. Now, I would say this is true. The mean does decrease more than the median because the polar bear is a high outlier. So that's going to be your answer. Now let's look at the other ones and why they're wrong. Part B, the mean decreases less than the median because the polar bear is a high outlier. Well, we've already established the mean decreases more than the median. C, the mean decreases more than the median. True, because the high value balances the low value. That doesn't make any sense. There's no low value. These are just a bunch of numbers, and the 1000 happens to be an outlier. So that's not true. And letter D, the mean decreases less than the median, and we know that that's simply not true. It does not decrease less than the median, it decreases more. So the only answer that logically makes sense is going to be answer choice A. And just as a reminder, an outlier is any number that's like well above or well below the typical set of data. So this would be considered an outlier because 1000 is well above the next highest number, which is 550.